Hi guys, it's me, your smelling impaired friend and coach, the No-Nose Foodie. Take a look at my website also, nonosedfoodie.com. It's all about eating, cooking, and living well when you can't smell. Today, I'm going to show you how to make To the Rescue chicken soup. It's great for when you have a cold or you just want something healthy, tasty, and comforting. Let's get started. Here we'll put together our chicken broth. As you can see, I'm using a concentrated paste. This one is from Better Than Bouillon. It comes in several flavors and it comes in a low sodium version as well. It's very easy to use, very flavorful, and easy to store. I'm adding our bay leaves, which are going to steep in the hot chicken broth while we cut up our other ingredients. This is a white onion, which I chose for its mild flavor. You can also use yellow onion if you want something stronger, and red onion will work as well, although it won't keep the color once it gets cooked. Make sure you have a good sharp knife for cutting all these vegetables. Keep in mind that the measurements on the vegetables for a soup don't have to be absolutely exact. You can see here that I had a little bit more onion than I had planned on, and it will work out just fine. Here we have our celery, which has already been washed, scrubbed, and I'm trimming the ends before chopping it up into fairly large pieces. That way it maintains its texture and doesn't get mushy. If at all possible, use organic celery. The flavor is so much better than the conventionally grown variety. Same thing goes for these carrots, which we're going to peel and chop, also leaving them in big chunks like we did with the celery so that they don't get too mushy. You'll notice there's a fair amount of carrots in this recipe for a chicken soup, and that's because they add so much sweetness and flavor to the broth. Now we'll mince our fresh garlic. And as you see, I'm using a chef's knife and not a garlic press. This technique gives you the flavor of the garlic without the off-putting, bitter, funky taste that sometimes comes with using a press. Here we have several sprigs of fresh oregano that I just picked from the garden, washed and dried. You can see it's easy to pull the leaves off if you just run your hand down the stem in the opposite direction from which they grow. Here I'm chopping this to a medium coarse consistency and setting it aside for later. I'm super excited because I actually can smell this. With this gadget, I need to strain the lemon juice, as you can see, but it is nice and works pretty quickly. Here we have our zucchini, and we're going to chop the ends off and get them ready to make our zucchini noodle spirals. This is a super cool spiral slicer that I got at Kroger for $25. It has 3 different blades, which allows you to make several different kinds of spiral slices. It has a big suction cup on the bottom that will stick to your countertop and keep it stable. It doesn't work so well on the cutting board here, as you can see, and I'm requiring some extra hands to keep it stable. Even with the slipping, this part is really fun to do. Here's our zucchini noodles all ready to go. Here we have our 1 pound of deboned chicken thighs. They have been defrosted and patted dry. We'll cut them into large pieces and we'll get some of this extra fat off. I'm not super religious about getting every little bit of fat off the chicken, but if you really need to watch your fat content, you can work on these a little bit more, and if you do it while the chicken is partially frozen, it's much easier. Here I have my enameled cast iron soup pot or Dutch oven, and I'm adding 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. The pan is on medium heat and starting to get hot. We add our chopped onion, followed by our celery and our carrots. And we're going to saute these until they start to get just a little bit soft. Then we're adding a couple large pinches of cayenne pepper, which is going to give the soup just a little bit of zip. You can add more if you want a little bit more spice. Now we'll add our fresh garlic, and we're going to saute it pretty quickly and make sure that the garlic doesn't start to burn. If things start to dry out, we can add a few drops of water before we add the chicken. If you don't already have a good quality pepper mill, invest in one when you can. You want one that allows you to adjust the coarseness of the grind. This little wooden one has been in my family longer than I have and is made by Peugeot, the car company. We've added our chicken broth here. We'll give it a little stir, and we're going to bring the pot to a simmer. When the chicken is done and the vegetables are getting just tender crisp, we're going to remove the chicken from the pot, let it cool for a few minutes, and then we'll use our kitchen shears to shred it. Then we'll place all the chicken back into the pot. Give it a stir. Now we'll add our freshly squeezed lemon juice and give it a stir. That will change the broth a little bit, so we'll need to readjust the balance of salt and add a little more pepper to taste. If you want a little more heat, you can also add some more cayenne pepper at this point. Then we'll add our zucchini spirals. Once they're in the hot broth for 2 to 3 minutes, they soften to a consistency that's very much like pasta. We add our fresh oregano at the very last minute, cover the pot, and we'll take it off the burner so that we don't overcook these beautiful fresh herbs and we don't get mushy zucchini noodles. Now it's ready to serve. You may want to keep a pair of those kitchen shears around because, as you can see, these noodles are really long and it makes it a little tricky dishing the soup up into a bowl. We'll dish up some more of the broth, some chicken, and some of the carrots, and we'll give it a taste. As you can see, this is a soup that requires a spoon and a fork. Here we have our To the Rescue chicken soup. You need a fork with this because, as you can see, the zucchini noodles get really, really long, but that's good because, as they say in China, long noodles for a long life. So here is our soup, spicy, lemony, and full of flavor, especially with the fresh oregano that I just picked from my garden today. Go set yourself a nice table, sit down, and enjoy a bowl. Food definitely tastes better with pretty table linens and your best crystal. You'll find the recipe at the bottom of the page and on my website. Try it and tell me what you think. Please click like if you enjoyed my video and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to continue this journey together. Until next time, cheers.